All right, Joe. All right. What's next?
What are you nerding out about now?
All right. Well, you were very excited about your long title one, and oh, that's a good one, Kurt. I'll go last. You guys go first.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, so this past week I rewatched an anime with a really long title called Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of otome games is tough for mobs.
I don't understand.
Otome.
That's the whole title.
Otome is a Japanese word for a dating game, basically. So it's basically saying dating game twice in that. So it is a very, very funny and absurd anime where the main character, at the beginning, his sister, I guess, has some kind of blackmail on him and forces him to beat a dating sim game for her. And so he wants to get it over with, so he crams and beats it and 100%s it, and he ends up so exhausted that when he walks outside, he trips down a flight of stairs and dies. And when he wakes up, he is in the world of the game. But he's not any of the main characters or anything like that. He's a backwater bumpkin, and he completely hates the entire world, and he makes it very clear that he hates basically all of the main characters, pretty much, especially the love interests from the game. And because in the game you play as a female, and so all the love interests are males, and so he goes out of his way to be very very to be jerks to all of them, basically. And so it is absurd and funny, and Kurt wouldn't like it, but because it's very over the top. But he sits there and he makes fun of the game all the time. He's like, okay, now there's random mechs, now there's random this. It's like it was a dating game made by a company who only knows how to make RPGs or something like that, and so there's a whole bunch of random stuff in it. There's dungeons in it, and there's magic and all kinds of stuff. And so he's like, he hates it, and it's awesome. It's very funny. You're muted, Kurt.
I like it.
You might, Charles, but it's on Crunchyroll, and I don't think you have access to Crunchyroll.
I have the free tier. I don't have any paid access.
Yeah, I don't know if it's available on the free tier. I'd have to check. But
Have you played any of those dating games?
no.
They're crazy. Like, they're just straight up weird. I mean,
I bet.
So when Dennis was doing Botched Love,
Yeah.
I mean, Phil and I would do a bunch of those with him, and we'd make up the voices and everything. There's a dating sim where everybody is a bird.
Okay.
There's a dating sim where everyone is a tank.
Oh, I remember him talking about that one. Yeah.
And then there's ones where they're human-ish, called Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, I will tell you that one has such a weird twist in it that you kind of don't want to let anybody know, and you want to encourage them to experience it themselves. It's strange. And literally, I was playing it with, I think, Phil, and we were streaming it, and I had never played it, and the big twist happens, and I'm going, what the heck is going on? Like, it like blew my mind. It was, and then it got weirder and weirder. And like, to the point, like, I'll even give a little spoilery thing. It will kind of understand that it's a game and restart the game in the middle of the game
Okay.
and change it a little bit. It goes weirdly meta, and it's just it's very odd and very jarring and a great experience. Like, it's worth playing. But there's a lot that are just weird games. I think there was one where it was all about restaurant dating, and you had to choose the right foods in order to make the date work. Very strange. Very weird. But they're not afraid to try stuff in those games. Very strange. So what you explained as for this anime seemed really tame. like barring on normal, other than the fact that the guy went into a coma and thinks he's in a dating sim. I mean, that's what I'm presuming it is.
Oh, it's not a coma. He died.
Oh,
He
okay.
did.
So purgatory is a dating sim.
Not a tumor.
Purgatory is a dating sim. Oh.
So, what are you excited about, Kurt?
The new trailer came out for Deadpool and Wolverine.
All right.
It is fantastic. We're getting all kinds of stuff. And
Yep.
if you've not watched it, I'm going a little spoilery. So,
Well, it's
suck it
a
up.
trailer. I mean, you
Suck it
can't
up,
really spoil a
Buttercup.
trailer.
Well, there's a lot. So, a lot, including, you remember when Ant-Man grew really big and went into San Francisco Harbor to catch the Yellow Jacket dude? Yeah, his ginormous 40-foot tall corpse is in this.
Yeah.
In a wasteland, which is right out of the Old Man Logan comic book series, where they actually made a town based on his corpse. That in the comic book they called Pym Falls. Was the name of the town, but
Pym Falls,
yeah. But this is literally a character comes out of the Ant-Man helmet that raises up. You see his skull underneath, and people are living in there. It looks like.
So Kurt is known on This Week in the MCU of his breakdowns. Did you break the trailer down?
I did not, and mainly because I just haven't had time to devote.
Sure.
To it yet, but there's a lot. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there.
Yep.
They go by a store called Liefeld's Feet Only. And it's because in the comics in the 90s, Rob Liefeld was the artist, and he was terrible at drawing feet. Like, literally just couldn't do it. And so there's that. We get to see the main villain in this trailer, and that's Cassandra Nova, who, comic book wise, was the twin of Charles Xavier that Charles destroyed in utero. But she actually didn't get to. It's weird. It's completely strange and weird.
That was perfect for a Deadpool
But
movie.
She's kind of an evil Professor X.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only real breakdown that I saw of it, they took apart that scene which is like just a second or two with Ant-Man, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see, I never paused. I just watched it. Oh, cool. But I can see there's a line of people, more or less. It's hard to explain, but like warriors standing around, not in a line waiting to get in or anything. And they broke that down and they like, look, this is what, as best we can look at it, is what we think it is all these villains have been introduced in all the different X-Men universe movies.
Right.
There, like Lady Deathstrike looks like she's there. Caliban. Callisto, one that said we don't know her name, but she looked like she was invisible on this wall. And they showed a scene of where each one of these would be introduced in all the different movies. So I thought that if that's the thing, that's kind of cool.
Yep, Toad is
Kinda
in there.
fun.
Azazel is in there from First Class.
Yeah.
They're from all over the place. It's a little crazy. Pyro is in there. It's and here's the thing. This is going multiverse. So
it has to with Ant-Man being dead. That has to, right?
but also the TVA is involved, and
I did see something there.
at the very end of this trailer, they're jumping through a sling ring portal.
I noticed that too.
And what's cool is
let's go.
They show the they show Deadpool and Wolverine jumping through the portal towards you, but in the background is Cassandra Nova just kind of standing there as if, I don't know, she'll probably jump through the portal with them, but they're not telling you. And they don't show you where they're jumping through, which isn't normally how those portals work. So they're probably saving that for the movie. They probably left that blank, but it is awesome. I mean, just all kinds of stuff in there.
I'm excited.
And it is going to be crazy.
So, Joe, Deadpool's this awesome rated R movie.
I know what Deadpool is. There's a PG-13 version with many Princess Bride references.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. So, I mean, it definitely is not a kid's film. It's not for families, and I even waited a long time to show. I don't think my youngest have seen anything about it, to be honest. My oldest are 18 and 19, but they were in young teens, and I showed it to them at some point. But I'm excited about that.
It's going full R. They dropped like 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that
in the trailer.
And that was one of the biggest things that they said, like Disney now owns Fox, blah, blah, but they're not going to mess with Deadpool. Deadpool's been a cash cow, right, for the last 2 movies. And then the other versions that they make and release, like Joe said, there's a PG-13 version. There's, the collectors, all this stuff. So Disney needs money right now. We're not doing great with the money right now.
There is some speculation. Already. So one of the things, in one of the previous trailers, Deadpool says, "I'm Marvel Jesus."
Yeah. Yes,
right?
He did.
So the speculation is that one of the things they're going to jump into, Wolverine and Deadpool are jumping into, is the final battle in Infinity War. Or in Endgame. And,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And Deadpool puts on the gauntlet and does the snap.
Oh, to bring back Tony, so that Tony doesn't.
Back Tony.
Oh.
Okay. I'm smiling. Except if that happens, screw you, Marvel. You just took away everything that ever happened.
But then wouldn't it just be an alternate reality, Tony, because it branches off? Because the TVS thing is
that. Honestly, we do already have that with What If, which is canon.
Yeah, look, even if it is, they could still. It's a whole thing. Like that's the problem with multiverse, right? The problem with multiverse is somebody dies, you can bring them into you can bring an alternate version into your universe, and everything's good. It's fine.
Which technically, in What If, they brought Black Widow back into the main universe.
Well, into a universe.
Yeah.
Well, the way they lined it up with the story, it makes you believe. It made me believe it's the main, but also they haven't touched it yet. So you never know. It's just options, right? So it's interesting. I did like.
Deadpool is all about breaking the rules.
This is true. I did like they're bringing I forget her name, the blind lady back.
Oh yeah,
they're doing that cocaine bit.
Lady Daredevil. What?
No,
I have no idea who you're talking
Lady Deathlock.
I said
it's a character for the movies, and I think she's from the comics some too. But it's one of those side characters that steals the show, and if she's not in the movie, we get upset kind of character. But they're doing a bit about smoking or snorting cocaine. And the best line though, Joe, the best line out of that was because Feige is the master of the Marvel world, right? He's the extreme executive producer to making sure everything is continuity and where we do everything in. And so Deadpool's like, that's the one thing Feige said was off limits. Is no cocaine.
Cocaine.
I like great line. Great line.
And that's Blind Al, and she's played by Leslie Uggams.
Oh, it's so good. So
yeah,
good.
and what was really funny is from the second movie, where he lifts up the floorboards. There's a whole bunch of cocaine and stuff in the floorboards. Also, something that was labeled the cure for blindness.
Yeah, right next to it.
So yeah.
I can't
wait. It's going to be fun. Yeah. It's going to be a really, really fun ride.
Oh, Devo says she's the overseer for Vault 33 and Fallout.
Ah, okay.
I haven't watched the new series yet.
So watched one episode.
Heard a lot of good things.
I'm hearing good things too. I haven't seen it yet. So I've got one more week in a row to report on Screen Unseen. I was really happy with it this week. They did 3 back-to-back, and honestly, because I'm used to doing one or every other week at most, I'm like, last week was like, okay, I do love the Screen Unseen, and of course I don't have to go, but it really is kind of right now is my wife and I's thing of we'll put everything aside because it's once a month or once twice, but it was just 3 weeks in a row. I was like, one more movie tonight. Okay, let's go. No, let's cross our fingers. It's good. And of course, Erin's making her bets on what it is. And we're watching the previews. And one thing I know to be true since the VHS days is that previews give you a tone of what you're about to watch. Mm-hmm. And I've learned the hard way multiple times, like, man, these are the worst previews. These are horrible previews. What is going on? I hate everything about it. And I watch the movie and go, oh, I hate this movie. It's the worst. Yeah. So quality, whatever. And just the previews were there was a little bit of a horror one.
I was going to say, what were the previews? Maybe we can guess the movie.
I don't remember honestly, I don't remember the names of them, but one of them was this horror guy. Like he wears this weird mask when he didn't have a mask. His back of his head kind of looks like Deadpool-esque, but the camera's always over his shoulder and he's just slowly walking. He walks up on this yoga girl on the lake and she just screams randomly and animal, something like an animal in nature of an animal, something like that. Okay. But basically he's this murder, but he's like a slow Jason, like Jason is coming for you. And it was just a weird tone, weird everything. I don't know, man. They were I just blanked them out. They were not recognizable. That was one thing. None of it was recognizable. None of it was anything with any actors that you would know. And I was like, I leaned over my wife's like, did we get Scream Unseen? Or because that would be the horror series that do, which we don't, that's the one we don't go to because we just don't care about horror. Sting was one of the things, which is about a spider that gets massive or something. I don't know exactly how that goes. So like a horror creature film, a horror stalker film. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And then I don't remember the name of and the logos of the companies that produced the film we're about to watch. I leaned over, this looks bad. I don't know. I mean, the logos, I'm not a logo snob, and I'm like, this looks bad. It was Boy Kills World. And I was like, I wanted to see Boy Kills World. Oh my God. So much fun. Bill Skarsgård. Oh, okay. It's like this twisted take on Hunger Games where they do the culling, is what they call it. And it is a sideways film. I don't know what categories it would be in, but the trailers caught my attention originally because it is the guy who voices Archer, John, whatever his name is. Yeah. So it's obviously his voice. He goes, so whatever the name of the main bad guy is, she killed my family and when I was a kid and left me deaf and mute. And so step number 1, I had to get an inner voice. So I picked the last voice I remember hearing, which was a video game announcer. And of course they show this clip of John. Well, I mean, it's the voice in this arcade cabinet. He's like, player 2, introduce the game. It's him doing it. So his inner monologue is Archer the whole time, mixed with Bob's Burger, in there. So that was like, okay, that seems fun. And the whole idea is his family was murdered because they were enemies of the state, basically. It's a Hunger Games type hellscape, urban-esque, whatever thing. And of course, he grows up to be this master warrior with one goal, to kill this whole family. And, it is just as bonkers as you think. A warrior, Kurt, the main actor in Warrior,
Yep.
He's in it with he could voice Wolverine with this accent and the voice that he uses for this character that he's doing. He's kind of cuckoo crazy. There's a running gag that because he can read lips, so that kind of hand waves while we can understand everything that's going on around him, right? Even when they're looking away from him, us the audience gets everything. So they kind of hand wave the whole I can read lips, except there's this one guy who apparently mumbles, and maybe we never find out. Maybe speaks a different language because everything's like Dodo Caddy T. It's like, is he mumbling in some weird language? And you never, and it to the last joke that is told about this guy, it pays off. This running gag pays off with that. But yeah, it's not a good movie, but it's fun. It's funny. It's violent. And for the surprise movie of the night, I was very happy to see it. And honestly, it made me think I might catch Borderlands that way because it's kind of that caliber of film. Now, Borderlands had a few more recognizable faces, but honestly, if you looked up Boy Kills World, you'll recognize the 3 or 4 main characters for sure. The assassin with the helmet, I didn't recognize her as what she's done before, but the husband, the brother, the main character, and the what they call him, the druid or something, the guy who trains him, and of course it's not Bill Skarsgård, it's the Skarsgård that played it, the clown. That was it too. One of the other previews was the new Crow movie that's coming out. Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was like. So I'm thinking the Crow is gonna possibly in Screen Unseen, and then I mean I don't know. When you put Kevin Hart in something, I don't know if we'd get it in Screen Unseen. But I was like, I think I'd be happier if Borderlands just popped up instead of going to it. And my wife's like, why? You know, to me that preview looks like everything that is that world of Borderlands, and I'm like, you watched me play the game some. I lived in that game for better part of a decade, and I still go back to Borderlands 2. Played all 4 of them. They did the pre-sequel and 1, 2, and 3, and just loved them all to various levels. Played the Telltale games. I'm just so worried about it a little bit. So yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be. But yeah, you roll the dice, and when the screen comes up and you start recognizing the movie, that's 2. I got the gentlemanly, the Ministry of Gentleman and Ungentlemanly Warfare was a great surprise, which she loved. And then I know she did not like this movie at all. It was reminiscent of like a Jean-Claude Van Damme sci-fi movie in the 90s, but it was fun. So
yeah, I'm gonna take a guess at the next one.
Now they haven't announced a date, so that's going to be a little bit harder.
Oh yeah, true. If it's kind of soon for it. Well, how early do they normally release?
About 2 weeks before. It's almost a 2-week lead time. Now we did it Monday, and I think Boy Kills World comes out this weekend.
Yeah,
or now
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
yeah. So it was a week, but in the past it has been about a 2-week. Like the Ungentlemanly Warfare was a good 2-week lead. The anime one last week was about a 2-week lead, but this one is about a week.
So I was gonna say one of 2 things. Well, see, they don't do full on blockbusters, right?
Not yet. It's been like The Boys in the Boat.
It's been mostly
kind of
film festival stuff.
Yeah, Clarence, the Book of Clarence, those kind of things. Yeah,
yeah. It's hard because I was just looking to see what's coming out. The only one that would be a possibility would be possibly Tarot.
Yeah,
that tarot card one. It's another horror movie.
Which that would be Scream Unseen, which I wouldn't go to anyway.
Yeah, and then otherwise it's like the Fall Guy.
That is on but it looks like they're trying to be a blockbuster.
But Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I mean,
I know they're huge.
They're huge. So, and then otherwise it would be like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and that's going to be way too big.
I think that's not. Because I did tell Aaron, I was like, I am an investor for AMC, and I was like, honestly, I think they're on to something with the screen unseen and the scream unseen also and all this stuff. But can you imagine, Kurt? I know you get this, and Joe, I think you get this too. It's like, can you imagine the coup they would pull off that 2 weeks before the big Marvel movie hits, you're seeing the Marvel movie, you know? I know, but
Yeah,
that would be like, oh, now people are going randomly because you might see Planet of the Apes because you never know. Now, all you got to do is 1 a year, maybe 2 at most, and the buzz that comes off of that, going, oh my God, I saw this major movie 2 weeks before, because they're obviously getting good buzz off of these things. Otherwise, I don't think they would have run them 3 weeks in a row this month.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a comedy, and it's going to be not another church movie. It's one of those parody movies that's supposed to be making fun of the Tyler Perry
Oh no,
Perry
I
movies.
would eat that movie up.
And Jamie Foxx, Kevin Daniels, and Mickey Rourke. Jamie Foxx is playing God, Mickey Rourke's playing the devil, and it looks like it's going to be a terrible movie. So why not screen unsee it?
Why not screen? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you, Kurt. I'm with you on that. I like it.